Let's wrap up January. All right, hey guys, I am back. I've had a crazy month. You guys have probably heard all about it either through vlogs or Discord or whatever, so I don't want to go into the details about it. But let me say my January reading was not great. I had quite a few DNFs. I had quite a few NFNs. I had quite a few low-rated books. So I'm just going to go into this like a standard wrap-up, not the format that I've been using, because I didn't read very much. So this last month was stressful for a number of reasons, but also I had issues with focusing. So that meant that I NFN'd quite a few things, and I will tell you what I NFN'd, and that means not for now. Not in the mood, couldn't do it, nothing special. It's kind of like a DNF, but a DNF that I plan to return to. So one of those was The Lonesome Crown. I couldn't focus on it. That's one of those books that you need to be able to sit down and read and absorb and give it time. I didn't have the time, so The Lonesome Crown ended up not being the book that I did for my Patreon like I had planned. Since then, I have chosen a book for February, or they chose a book for me to read in February. So I am still going to be uploading those, and The Lonesome Crown I will return to whenever my mind decides that it is time. But that's when I NFN'd. Promise of Blood, I NFN'd. In total, I attempted 9 books. That does not include my NFNs. Of those 9 books that I attempted, I DNF'd 4, leaving me with 5 books that I read in January, which has to be my worst reading month ever. Like, absolutely ever. And I managed to reach 3,706 pages. Again, worst reading month ever. So, yeah, and let's get to the ratings real quick. I think I averaged a 3-star, like 3-star, period. There's not a whole lot here. Now, if I was to add my DNFs to that number, it would be a lot lower, a lot lower. So let's go ahead and talk about the books that I did read. So first off, I had quite a few holds at the library, and I forgot to mention some of them, mainly because I forgot I put them on hold and I record on my phone, so I couldn't go to check it. However, The Hexologist by Josiah Bancroft DNF'd because I did not like the structure of the book. I didn't like that it was kind of all over the place. If I had some time to sit down and focus on it, I could have made a better run at it. I don't know, but I did not like this book, so I DNF'd it. I did talk about The Wolf and the Woodsman, that I had NFN'd it, planned to restart it in January. I did not restart it. Well, I did restart it, but like didn't get very far before I was like, okay, no, I'm still not ready for this book. So it remains on my NFNs for January. The Spear That Cuts Through Water. Let's just go ahead and talk about that. I DNF'd this one as well. This is on my 12 books by 12 friends, and I am one of those people who likes story structure to be cut and dry. I do not like weird story structure, and this one definitely had that, and so I couldn't get invested in it. And I don't need everything to be laid out for me, and I don't need it to be a complete, like, we'll get to that in a minute because I have another book to talk about. But I absolutely hated the structure of this book, so I couldn't get through it, and I DNF'd it. Okay, on to the books. I have one more DNF. Let me go ahead and talk about that one other DNF. Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. Now, I was really pumped for this because I have been a Cassandra Clare fan for quite some time. It's been a long time since I read a book by her, and I was very excited for the adult release from Cassandra Clare. Got it in Fairy Loot, so excited. The book is beautiful. I couldn't get through it. She was so wordy, and it got so boring. And I just couldn't stand the pacing of this book. And so I just got midway through it and was like, I don't like this. Like, I've been fighting myself, but I don't like this. So Swordcatcher was unfortunately a DNF. It's on my Pango Books if you guys would like to purchase the copy that I have, but absolutely was not for me. Okay, now let's get into the rest of the books. For my patron buddy read, we were reading Ancillary Justice by Ann Leckie. Now, this is the book I need to talk about with weird story structure. Half the time I didn't know what was going on. And so it made it seem like I was floating outside this world, looking on, going, I have no ground to stand on in this world. I have no idea what's happening. And I don't understand why this person is in all these different places at once and how that's possible. Anyway, I ended up giving this a 3.5 because the conclusion of the story. Now, this is weird for me. I normally wouldn't stick out a book that I wasn't enjoying to the end. However, there were things about this that kept bringing me back in. And so I did end up finishing it with a 3.5 rating. I think upon reread, I would really love this book because I know what's happening now. I know what's going on. I understand why we were kind of lost in space for so long. And it's kind of weird. That's the best way I can put this. The story structure is weird. And it's set up this way because you kind of have to be on the outside looking in, the way the story is set up. That's the only way it works. But I really enjoyed this. I plan to continue with the series. I don't know when I'm going to continue with the series because I read this before things kind of went to crap in my January. And I think that's the only reason I was able to get through this whenever there were others I couldn't. But I really enjoyed this. So 3.5, do think upon reread it could be a 4 or 5 star. And I do think that the continuation of this series is probably something I'm really going to like. Next, I read A Declaration of the Rights of Magicians. Now, this has been on my TBR for forever. And so I was very excited to get into this. And one thing I said to a few of my friends is like, you know, you're playing Dragon Age and you stumble across Anders' Manifesto and you kind of want to read it. Well, here you go. This is Anders' Manifesto. I really loved the history and the magic and how they blended together with the French Revolution and everything like that, and how there are talks about race and politics and classism and stuff like that, like all that gets talked about when you're talking about rights of any people. This just happens to be magicians. And it kind of expands into how the politics surrounding magic work in other countries and all stuff like that. So it's really, really cool. And if you're a history buff, I think you'll like this. If you really like historical fiction, I think you'll like this. Now, if you're a fantasy reader and you're going into this for the fantasy aspect, don't. I don't think that there's enough magic in this that like carries the story if you are not already like intrigued by the history aspect of it and the political aspect of it. So if you're looking for a historical political fantasy, then this is it. But if that's not what you're looking for, you're not gonna like this one. So I also gave this one 3.5 4 stars. I kind of waver between the two because it does get pretty slow and I don't want to ding it on pacing when I really enjoyed a good majority of the book. So I like I said, I'm kind of wavering between 3.5 and 4, and that is like, that does mean I am still excited for the second book though. I have it sitting over there so I can see it. But yeah, I mean, the Shadow Histories, I'm kind of excited to continue, so we'll see, right? Next, I had something very unexpected happen. The book that I was least excited for, I think I enjoyed the most, and it's Forged by Blood by Eggebor Åkesson, and I really enjoyed this. I liked it so much. So we have a girl who, she is a magic user, but she's the type of magic user that's looked down upon, and they've kind of been shunned in this world. And things start to happen where she is forced to take action, and one of the actions she takes is she kidnaps the prince. And things go from there. But I thought this was a lovely examination of family. I loved the way it was written. I thought the main character was great, and I really, really enjoyed this one. And it was not the one I was expecting to enjoy. This was the wild card. This was the one that got thrown in there because I need to get through my BookBox books. However, loved this one. I gave it 4 stars. I do hope to continue with this one. I don't know when the next one comes out. I don't know that I'm going to go for a special edition of it, but I do really, really like this story. Oh, and you can see the sprayed edges there match the cover. Very cool. Okay, and then how I finished out my month was reading this series, Kingdom of the Wicked and Kingdom of the Cursed by Kerri Maniscalco. So, like I said, I finished 5 books in total. My son bought me Kingdom of the Feared, And so I went ahead and bought Kingdom of the Wicked, Kingdom of the Cursed, and read them. I really like this story, guys. So this is kind of, I think I said this in my last video, it's a no thoughts, all vibes, just get into the story and enjoy it, have fun, those kind of books. And I really enjoy these. Now, it says, a quest for vengeance that will unleash hell itself, and it's not lying. We have two sisters in this story who have been told their whole lives that they need to fear the kingdom of the wicked. They need to fear the demons of hell, the princes of hell. And they need to avoid dark magic and all of that stuff. Until one day, our main character's twin sister is killed. And she goes on a hunt for the person who killed her sister. Now, the person who killed her sister might be the same person who's killing other witches in this realm. And so it goes on to open up into a very large story by Kingdom of the Feared, because yes, I have read all of them now. My dog is trying to get under the tripod here. But Kingdom of the Wicked was really good. I gave it 3.5, 4 stars. Kingdom of the Cursed, I would give 4 stars. Kingdom of the Feared, I'll just spoil it for you, I would give 5 stars. So this grows, like, as the series progresses, the world grows, the writing gets better. Now, the third book is very spicy. So if that's not a thing that you're into, that's something you need to be prepared for. But I really enjoyed these, and it was a great way to end my month because I was, like I said, I had a whole month of just stress, and these were a good break from that. Okay, well, that is the end of my wrap up, my whole 5 books and the 4 I DNF'd and the ones that I NFN'd. And, oh, I forgot, I might not have said I NFN'd The Sun and the Void. It was sitting over here next to me and I forgot to grab it. But yeah, I couldn't get through this, couldn't get invested in it simply because I couldn't pay attention to it. So this was one that kind of got the cut simply because I needed more time to focus on it rather than being pulled away every chapter. Just was not working for me. Okay, that's it for my wrap up. And I know it was short. I know there weren't very many books, but I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say about the books I did read. And I am hoping that within the next month or 2, I can get buckled down in my reading again and hopefully finish more books than just 5. Plus, there are some on my February TBR that I'm so excited for. So excited for. But if you'd like to connect with me in any other way, all of my links are in a Linktree link down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!